Yes.
You did a great job of laying out a vision of what America could be like, what that is. The vision you haven't really talked about, which I'd love you to talk about, is how we get from here to there. Obviously, in the
Well, Anthony's going to talk about that.
Okay. Who else? I want you to specifically.
My approach is simply to awaken the people and get them to want to do it and to use whatever means are at this disposal. I'm doing my part. You guys have to do your part.
But my question is, what means are at our disposal? About 10% of the congressional races in the country are actually contestable, or contested. You talked about the campaign finance situation. You've talked about the media control situation. So what are the means that are accessible?
Well, if we wake the American people up and educate them not to vote for the one that they're told by the corporate media is the most electable, not to vote for the one that raises the most money, not to vote for the one that has the most charisma on TV, but to vote for the one who will serve their interests, who is honest and not beholden to big money. If we can educate the American people on that, then they can overcome the lack of true campaign finance reform. They can overcome the corporate media. We do have means of communicating. We do have the internet. We do have ways of spreading the word person to person. And we can do it. And we will do it. And you'll hear more about that very shortly. Yes.
I greatly enjoyed your speech and the platform. I wish everyone had the opportunity to hear that. But I think there are two tweaks I would like to recommend. I don't know if you can consider this, but you said that we should rebuild New Orleans after Katrina. And I feel that one of the things that's going to be one of the greatest expense we're going to bear as a people in the future will be these natural disasters of increasing frequency. And I think that we have to give nature her due. And I believe that New Orleans would be an example of how we as a species have to acknowledge that we can no longer do businesses as usual in war against our planet, number one. And we need to give back to nature that which nature's going to take anyways, and not waste more money. That's one thing. The other thing on your...
Well, of course, that's going to be a tough sell in the Netherlands.
Well, the other thing is that you said that our government should not force our workers to compete with cheap foreign workers, and I think that's no longer something that they're going to force or can force. We're in fact in competition with them. There's nothing we can do about it. So I think our attitude should be that our government is going to empower our workers to win that competition, but they're not being.
No, that's not possible. So, I mean, no matter how productive and educated and talented our workers are, they cannot compete with workers earning cents per hour with no pensions, no health care, no protections. The cost of labor is such an important part that in order to protect our workers and their standard of living, we must either use means like foregoing trade with countries unless they raise their standards, which is what the European Union did with Spain and Greece and Turkey, or imposing tariffs to equal the playing field. We have to do one or the other until we can raise the standards in these other countries to match ours. If we just let unfettered marketplace forces take over, it'll be a race to the bottom as it is now. That's why our wages in this country are a third of what they used to be. We simply cannot allow that to continue, and there are ways to fix it. And it isn't helping the people in the developing world either. Their wages are going down in Mexico because of NAFTA. I had my own radio show before NAFTA came into being. and I had a lot of people on, people from Congress, people from Mexico and whatnot, discussing this. Most of the American people thought, well, it's us against them. It's American workers against Mexican workers. And we said, no, 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 it is not. It is the workers in both countries against the capitalists. And we have to bear that in mind. We cannot have free investment, free flow of capitalism, and without protection for workers. It simply is going to mean a worsening of the gap between the rich and the poor all over the world. And that's not what America was about. We have to get back to having a middle class like we had in the 1950s, and the middle class is essentially defined as one job providing amply for a family.